Hello, this is Andrew with $1Million.Bike. This is the recap for the 1904 2024. For those who don't know, 1904 is one of the big river gravel series races. It was held at the Loud's Thunder Forest Preserve in western Illinois, pretty much as far west as you can get, right along the Mississippi River. I signed up for the 100K. There is also a 50K and a party pace option. If you've seen any of my other Big River Gravel Series recaps, you know the drill. It's a well-organized event. The course is awesome. The course file is shared early. It is marked in a way that makes it easy to see that it is for the 2024 race and not from a previous year. Pre-event communication was timely and relevant. We had a pre-race safety talk about the course. There was appropriate signage on the course to slow down where it made sense to slow down. This might sound so basic in a why are you even saying these words kind of way, but a lot of organizers don't get this right. It's worth giving props where props are due. There's enough people to make it fun, competitive, and have somebody to ride with when you get dropped, or at least that's my experience. I always get dropped and I always find people to ride with, chat with, have a good race with. This recap is a little different. Generally, I try to get these out 3 to 4 days after an event. It gives me time to think about how it went, reflect on what went right, what didn't. 1904 was 2 weeks ago. It wasn't a great day for me. I messed up, laid the bike down on a nothing corner going 12 miles an hour and broke my hip. Totally my fault, just a moment of intention at the wrong time. It's very frustrating. I have watched the video more times than is healthy. Looking for something, anything that make sense. I don't see anything. My recollection is fairly consistent with that, but I was focused on other things at the time. So yeah, it's almost like I hit a patch of ice as I turned and the bike just slid out from underneath me. It was a transition corner where the road goes from gravel to excellent pavement. Sometimes you get fine gravel on the tarmac and it moves like marbles. That's the only thing I can think of. It's frustrating. Because of that, I did not get a chance to experience the after-race festivities. So I'm gonna just have to guess that based on previous experience, it was fun. Last year was great. The weather was perfect, so probably safe to roll with that. I get a surprising amount of back chat when I talk about manufactured hazards on courses and tolerance for risk. Riding bikes is dangerous. Racing bikes is more dangerous. It is very much a question of when rather than if we will crash. Why amp up that risk? I guess, putting it another way, when I crash, I would rather it be 100% my fault. Breaking a hip sucks. Knowing that it was my fault makes it easier to accept it. Before moving on, I just want to say thanks to the organizers for the excellent hospital recommendation. We had a quick chat about what I thought was wrong, and he sent me to the right place. Also want to say thanks to the folks at Unity Point Health in Rock Island. They were awesome. I had a great surgeon. Thank you, Dr. Hussein. He put my hip back together and gave me the most useful rubric for rehab that I have ever received from a medical professional. Most of the time they say, listen to your body, or as much as you can tolerate when it comes to setting limits. Yeah. So day after surgery, PT comes in with a walker, takes me for a lap around the floor. It was hard, but it felt great to move. I asked her how much I should be doing. She said, as much as you can tolerate. Awesome, challenge accepted. So after she left, I went back out for another 30-ish minutes of walkering. A surgeon comes in a few hours later to check in, asked me if I'd been up. I mentioned the PT thing and that I did the bonus 30. He wasn't thrilled. He told me that there are two groups who have bad outcomes for these things. Those that don't move and those who move too much. That as much as I can tolerate is guidance that is not meant for me. And I should use the is this normal method instead. He went on to define normal in very useful terms, including that 10-mile walks during rehab are not normal. I don't know why he felt the need to mention that. I mean, who would do that? That's crazy. Let's get to the race. I mentioned the course briefly. It's worth showing it again to get a sense of how it all played out. The start was neutral, first 4 miles are nothing. Then the race really starts with a big hill. I talk a lot about good course design in every one of these. This is a perfect example. That hill at 4 miles is where the groups are formed. It creates the necessary separations to make for a safer, more enjoyable event. I got dropped on that hill. I knew it was going to happen, so I was trying something different. I came into the race with a lot of fatigue. Obviously, that's not ideal if you want to do well, but every race is a training race this year. Given that I broke my hip and I'm going to have to rebuild again, probably next year too. 2 weeks before 1904, I started a build phase. Had been pushing a lot of base volume and anaerobic work. I was planning to use 1904 to fill in the high aerobic center. I actually nailed that, which makes it even more frustrating that I'm off the bike for another 4 weeks. But I don't like to think about that. With all that fatigue, knowing I was going to get dropped, and knowing that the first part of the course is mostly downhill, I was hoping that other motivated people who also got dropped would work with me to catch back up on the mostly downhills. That didn't work out. I did get in with a good group, but they didn't seem to want to push that hard to catch back on, so I just worked to keep the numbers around Z3, Z4. For the most part, that was fine, but there were a couple of times when we could see riders in the distance, and I would attack the group with the goal of getting 1 or 2 of the other guys to come with me so we could bridge across. They would do the work to catch me, but not enough to keep the pace rolling to catch the group in front of us. It didn't take long, and we didn't see anybody in front of us anymore. Not until much, much later. Mostly just rode it in and waited for the 2 killer hills that were coming at 51 and 55. Chatted with some of the other guys, enjoyed a perfect day in the corn. I handled the hill at 51 exactly how I wanted it. Get in near the front, ride a sustainable pace, be okay with the group getting away, then reel them back in. I did not execute well on the one at 55. I entered too far back, I tried to make up for it, let myself get pushed to the edge where the gravel was really loose, back wheel spun, that was it. Had to walk the rest. Then the goal was to chase them down. Annoyingly, I could see them just down the road as I turned, and then I broke my hip. Quickly wrapping up, nutrition. I did 125 grams of table sugar and 2.5 grams of table salt per hour. No issues. Next time, numbers going up. Next time will be a while. Aside from the fatigue I carried into the race, I felt great. Legs worked when I asked them to. Food for the win. Some quick numbers working off when the race really started. Normalized power at 15 minutes, 300 watts. 30 minutes, 289. Then 274, 251, 239 at hours 1, 2, 3 respectively. I am pleased with that. As far as what I learned, well, that's an easy one. Stay in the moment. Focus on the things that matter, even when they don't seem like they matter. Of course, I struggle with that mentality off the bike as well, so I guess more of a reminder than a new thing that I learned. I should be able to get back on the trainer in around 4 weeks. I am looking forward to that. I'm getting pretty stir crazy, moving like a normal person. I only have one more race on the calendar this year, and I hope to be able to make it. It's the next Big River Gravel Series race, the Turkey Burner on November 2nd. Obviously, I am not going to be able to race it, but maybe I can ride the party pace route and then drink some beer with those who did. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, just leave them below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks.